Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Morning Ramble. And I wanted to share a conversation I had with a friend, Dr. Dicken Bedinger. He and I teach together from time to time. We've got a new course coming up in London in June, tentatively called Living in a State of Meditation. But it will certainly be exploring meditation from a sort of a different point of view than a lot of people have. Meditation not as a practice, but as a place inside us that we can live from. And he was telling me about visiting an equine therapy center run by a friend of his, and he wanted to kind of experience the horses. And they said, well, what you do is go near the horses. So the horses were inside a pen, and sort of focus in on a horse, and then as best you can just drop into the quiet place inside you. And the horse will feel it. It will feel that you're a safe place, and will come over to you. That's what opens up the communication channels with the horse. And so he did. He went out. He stood near the gate. He found, a horse caught his eye, and he dropped into that quiet place we all have inside us. That space before thought. That in his books he calls home, and in my books I sometimes call home, but I also call the space within. And he said almost as soon as he could feel himself quiet, the horse caught his eye. And then they sat like that for a bit, and then the horse came over, and ultimately the horse was nuzzling him, and he was sort of had his arm around the horse, and they had a cuddle for a couple of minutes, and then moved on. And he was talking with his friend who ran the center about it, and said, what a powerful experience of connection and love it was, but also sort of wondering why equine therapy, why was that sort of her preferred modality. And she said, well, you can't bullshit a horse. And there was something about that I loved, that the horse can tell, young children can tell, at times we all can tell whether somebody really is a safe place. They can feel our quiet, they can feel our peace, or they can feel a little chaotic in there. Best not to go there. And I remember getting off the phone with him and kind of going, you can't bullshit a horse, but can I bullshit myself? Like, how in tune with that in myself am I? How much do I think of myself as a peaceful person, think of myself as a person who spends time in meditative states? And how much of the time am I actually a peaceful person? Am I actually coming from, living from the peace and presence inside me? And I thought that might be a fun experiment today, is, what if your bullshit detector was as finely tuned as a horse? Would you pass the horse test? Are you in a quiet place inside yourself? Can you drop into that space before thought, that space of meditation, that space within? And when you do, how do you know? Like, most people I've talked to, certainly for me, it's you just know. You know it when you feel it. You know it when you're there, when you're in that place in you. And that sort of is something if you want to play with, and I'd love you to share your experience of that, of dropping in and of noticing, in the comment section below. Have fun, learn heaps, and I'll talk with you soon.